Alright, you cats did caught me with my hood up. My last video I stated I had a water leak. I came out here and checked it today, and for sure I got a water leak, and I found where it is, and I ain't too happy about it. I'm gonna show y'all where this leak coming from, where I'm gonna try to. It's pretty crammed up in there, but top of the intake manifold, if you look in between that, here we go, in between this port right here. Alright, you see that? Right there. You can see that hose with the white stuff around it. Right in that area right there where my shadow is for my finger. That's a pinprick hole, and it's squirting coolant out. That's underneath the intake manifold, which is I'm not trying to remove. So you can see the hose crimp is right above it. So if I'm lucky, if this hose is long enough, I can cut the bad part off and just put it back. Hopefully it's long enough to do that, but if not, I gotta try to get to that crimp underneath the intake manifold. As you can see, it's pretty crammed under here, but man, yeah, we ain't gonna be able to do it from under here. But just to show you, I gotta go underneath the intake manifold. The rest of it, the front of the hose, in case I have to take the whole thing out. I'm trying to get a good view so you can see where it ends up. Okay, there we go. Alright, that one is not it. That hose I need to remove is the one in the back. You can barely see it. There we go. The one back here, you can just kind of see the hose crimp right there. So in order to squeeze that crimp to release that hose, I did a little looking around. Look like it's the one right there in the back. Don't focus on my finger. Oh man. Yeah, right back there. So I should be able to get that one from the top by removing the alternator, hopefully. This one, let's try to take a look from underneath this here vehicle. I got everything raised up, got my jack stands over there, got my jack for extra. I don't play around when it come down to getting up under these automobiles. Alright, so that's where the radiator hose go, and as you can see, that ain't gonna be fun getting to either, because it's pretty tight up in there. And that hose is right above that big radiator hose. See if I can get this up in there. Oh man, where we at? Okay, y'all, I'm trying. Where we at? Yeah, this ain't working out, but anyway, that hose where you see the thermostat housing and the lower radiator radiator hose, it's on the other side of that. You can kind of see I can see it. I just want to point it out for you guys. But right above it, where my finger at? Right, you see where that hose is bending at the top, right above it? That's the hose I need to fix and remove right there. So you can kind of see it from right there. I need to fix that one. So the crimp look like it could be facing me, but I don't know. I might have to remove the thermostat housing to get to that one, but we'll see. I just wanted to show y'all I got a job ahead of me, and oh man, I'm gonna do a little bit at a time because stuff like this will frustrate the heck out of me. So I got a little time. This is my daily driver, so I do need to fix it, but I don't have nowhere to go for a little while. Plus I have other vehicles that's not my daily, but they can be daily, so I should be all right. But I just wanted to show y'all what was going on. If you look under the car, you can clearly see something was leaking. See that? You got all these white marks of water leaking and blowing back. That's the coolant leaking down while you're driving. It's blowing back. And it's not even a, look at that. That look like milk almost. That's crazy. That's the coolant. Once it dry up, got that, look like bleeding milk, ain't it? But, wow. That's scary looking. Let me get my little butt from underneath this here vehicle. So like I said, I got a job ahead of me, and I'm gonna get to it, do a little bit at a time. Pull the front part off and take a break because I'm hungry. Alright, so I've been going at it. Took a little break. Show you what I've been doing. I tried to go through the back here. This is by the EGR. Took the hose off, thinking I can get my hand up under there, but not as much room as I was hoping. So I took that hose off. Took this connector off. I moved some lines out of the way. I need to make sure I put them all back. But that didn't work. I went underneath, tried to get it. That didn't work either. The hose that I showed y'all previously, that was the wrong hose. When I was telling y'all, oh yeah, just took that off, blah, blah, blah. That was the wrong hose. The hose that I need to get to is further up top, right up under the intake manifold. So there's no room back there. I tried to go through the side. Took the alternator out. Tried to put my hand, you know, through here, but as you can see, oh man, it's a cluster, you know what, in there. Couldn't get through there. So what I'm gonna do now is hopefully this will work, because I'm tired of removing things unnecessarily. I'm gonna remove this tensioner. What I'm thinking, just by looking up top, I'm not 100% sure, but that hose, where that thing at? That's it right there. If you look through there, you can see the hole. That's the hose I need to get. If you follow it, it goes straight across, and then it runs into this tensioner right here. So I'm thinking if I move the tensioner, I can reach through and work with that hose. You know, I'm hoping that worked. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna take this tensioner off. This tensioner has two bolts. One of the bolts, where's the bolt at, man? Okay. That red bolt up there is one. It's this one right here, and then behind this bracket right here was just support for the intake manifold. Some of the stuff they put on these cars is just, I don't know, they don't really need it. They just put it extra precaution. But that bracket is just, that black bracket, as you can see, I already got it loose. It's a bolt behind there. Actually, you can see it. That red bolt right there is behind that bracket. The only way I can get that bolt off is to remove this bracket, which give extra support to the intake manifold. I guess because of the weight, and it's kind of like a U shape. They put support underneath. B-Series engines have it too. I always take them off because they get in the way of working on the car, like right now. So I'm going to take that bracket off, get this tensioner out. It's only two bolts. It's the one right here that I showed you, and the red one off in the back in there that I need to get to. Get this tensioner out, and hopefully I can see that whole straight shot through the back. And y'all wish me luck. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I'm sitting in the engine bay. But anyway, I finally got this thing out. Here's the hose here. I'm holding it. I'm putting a hose clamp on it. I'm not going with all that squeeze toy stuff that the cars come with. So hopefully I can get this hose clamp in a position to where I can tighten it down. But what I ended up doing, it's like what I said. I don't feel like getting down, so I'm gonna do it like that. I took off that bracket that was back there, got those two screws, took off the tensioner that was right here, and then I had a straight shot to the back. Now there was another, let's see if I can show it to y'all. All right. You see that silver bracket right there? That bracket had a 12mm screw in it, and it's preventing me from getting my pliers to open while in this small space. So I have to pull the screw out of that bracket right there and let it fall. As you can see, it's hanging low. It's not connected no more. But I have to pull the screw out, let that bracket drop, move it to the side. Then I was able to get some needle nose in there and disconnect that hose. Like I say, this hose is right here. What I did, hopefully it don't bite me in my butt later on, but I don't even know for sure now. I haven't reconnected it, but like I said, it was a pinprick close to the end of it. So what I did, I cut it, and hopefully this hose is long enough to go back on. And if it go back on, I'm done. But I want to show you something else. Let's see. Gosh darn it. Where's that? Oh. Alright. See that sensor at the bottom that's broke to your left hand side at the bottom? That's the knock sensor. I broke it. Yep, I broke it. I didn't realize I broke it until I looked in there a few minutes ago. And it seems like, man, what the heck is that? The connector is dangling somewhere down there. It's so crammed in here, but that sensor right there is broke. So now I need a knock sensor. But you know me, I'm an eBay shopper. I get one for a little bit of nothing. But I ain't gonna be able to put my car back together until I fix that sensor. So let me get this hose on there and see if my plan go work. And I'll let you guys know if it did or not. Alright, so far so good. I got the hose back on. No, not yet. Almost. Alright. They looking for me. It's getting late. I've been out here for a while, but it's all good. Family, man. Gotta, how can I say? Gotta divide your time equally. Time for me to go in the house. They looking for me. But anyway, I got that hose back on. It was long enough to put back on. And let's see if I can show it to y'all. Alright, if you look between there, oh man, see that hose clamp in between there, that silver? There we go, it just focused. That's the hose clamp I put on. So I put the hose on, I put the hose clamp on, and the hose was long enough. Like I said, man, I'm still sitting on top of the engine bay. That's the only way I can reach this thing. Sit on top of the engine bay. So I'm gonna start putting this thing back together. Everything that I can put back together besides you know, alternator and that tensioner bracket, because I still gotta get me a knock sensor that I broke. Where that bad boy at? Oh, that's the connector right there. That green piece that's hanging, that's part of the knock sensor. It's supposed to be where that thing at? I can't even see it. I'm in a very uncomfortable position. But it's up under there somewhere. I already showed y'all. But I gotta get a knock sensor. Let me jump down real quick. Alright, so camera stopped recording for some reason, but I'm back. So like I said, I cut the bad part off, put it back on. The hose was long enough. The hose that was messed up was this one, the one back here. Hopefully it don't turn around and bite me in my butt. Meaning I probably should have replaced the whole hose, but whatever. I know how to do it now. It's a little easier because I got the hose clamp up there. One of the problems was these little squeeze clamps or whatever, these OEM clamps. It was hard to get this thing to squeeze and pull back in the little confined space that was in. That's why I had to unloose that that other bracket. And then once I got that off, the hose was stuck to the nipple or outlet or whatever. You know, that's been on there for 20 years. So I had to twist and all that good stuff. That didn't work. I put some little pliers in there and kind of pinched it on the side that I knew I was going to cut off anyway, and kind of pinched and pulled, and that broke it loose, so I was able to get it off. But it's been a pain in my you know what. So I'm done. Let me start putting this thing back together. Gotta put this rear back together. Put this back on that EGR. Connect this sensor right here. I got a couple brackets I need to put back on. I don't know if I'm gonna put them back on, cause like I say, on my B series engines, I don't never put that stuff back on. That bracket for the intake manifold, the little support bracket, and then that bracket that hold these vacuum lines, like whatever. I might not even put that back on. But anyway, I got it done. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. So if you ever need to get to that hose, that's what I did. Exclude the stuff that I removed from the rear. You ain't gotta do that because it's not enough space. Just take off the alternator and the belt tensioner, and you should have enough space to get back there and do what you need to do. But look at that. Look at all that stuff, just like a bird's nest in there. You know what I'm saying? My goodness, I have to work in between all that stuff. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm done. Got my son out here like always, watching my back. It's dark outside. It's getting dark. So
Yep.
alright, it's been about 5 days since I started fixing this water leak. If you remember, I broke the knock sensor, so I had to wait. I could have went to AutoZone somebody and bought a knock sensor for $100, but I decided not to. I ordered it. It finally came in. I'm about to install it, put this thing back together, and see if I still got a water leak. So here we go. Alright, to get to the knock sensor, as you can already see, I have the alternator removed, and there's also a belt tensioner that sits in this location right here. Both of those are out. The alternator only has 2 screws. There's one to go through here, and there's one at the top. The one at the top, I believe it goes through that belt tensioner, so that's why you don't see it right now. And then behind the alternator, you have these 2 connections. One is a 10, no, it was a 12. The black one is a 12 millimeter. Just take the nut off. This one is a squeeze clip. Just pull it out. And then this section right here where the belt tensioner is, there's 2 screws in that also. But to get to one of the screws to remove it, you have to remove the support bracket for the intake manifold. It's this black piece right here. It's just a support bracket. That has 4 bolts. It's gonna be 2 going upward underneath the throttle body, then the other 2 it's gonna be facing down. And you just take those 2 bolts out, and that support bracket comes out. Then you can get to that final bolt for the tensioner. And if I'm not mistaken, it was this bolt right here. You can get that one out, and you can have all this room after that. So if you remove the alternator and the tensioner, you have all this room up in here. But if you just remove the alternator, you'll have to go from the side, because remember the tensioner will be right here. And you could probably get it from the side just by removing the alternator. I believe you should be able to get it. It's gonna be a tight squeeze, but you should be able to get up in there and get it. But if you want more room, like I say, remove the tensioner. Now, the reason I have my tensioner out is because I had a water leak, and I needed more room to get up in there, so that's why my tensioner is out. And I broke my what's that? My knock sensor. Trying to fix the water leak, but let me show y'all what a knock sensor is. All right, so this hose is kind of tight up in there, but oh boy, I don't want to block the camera, but I don't want to break this hose either. Okay, now you see it. See that circle piece to the left hand side? It's usually a connector that go to it, but it broke off. So that's the knock sensor to the left, that round circle piece right there by my my finger. That's it right there, right behind this black hose. So that takes a 24 millimeter, but what I used was, I have a 24, but This is a 15/16. It's equivalent to a 24 millimeter. So if you got a 15/16 or 24 millimeter, you can get that knock sensor out of there. So let's get it out of there. Alright, so I got the knock sensor out of there. This is it right here. It's camera focus. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Come on, camera. Alright, so my camera not acting right, but this is the knock sensor. I already took it out. That's the old one. It's broke. This how it should look. Just like this. Has the connector on the end. So far, mine just had its back piece because I broke the connector off. And when you remove it, you don't have to worry about it leaking oil or anything like that. You could just take it out. It threads out. Thread the new one back in. Hook up the connector, and you're all done. So let's get this bad boy back in there. Alright, as you can see, we got the new O2 not O2, knock sensor in there. Now it's just time to throw this stuff back together. First we gonna go by putting the tensioner back on and then the alternator. So let's get that tensioner on there. Alright, we got that tensioner on there. Like I said, it was just 2 bolts. It was this red one here, and it's another one, red one in the back. Let's see if we can get an eye on it. Alright, if you everything's so tight. Alright, you see that other red bolt at the top? It's just those 2 bolts to hold on the tensioner. And then you got a 10 millimeter here just for this what is this? This looks like another water line right here. So, and then the 10 millimeter right there. Now let's get the alternator in. The alternator to go sit in between this fork right here, 1 screw. Then the top, 1 screw right there. So let's get that in there. Alright, we got the alternator belt tensioner on. Like I say, just 1 bolt went at the bottom of the alternator. This bolt right here went through the tensioner, and that's it for the alternator. Besides hooking up the electrical parts, the top part right here, the black part is a 12. Then you know that's just a clip. Just push it on and it snap. So let me get this belt on, and after we put the belt on, all I have to do is hook up the intake, and the battery should be done. So let's get it going. Alright, we all put back together. Everything's in. Alternator, connections, intake, belt tensioner. Put the belt on. Got this wire right here. For some reason it seems like it's a little, I don't know, I don't remember it being that tight, but I'll figure that out later. I thought I had a little more slack in it. Oh yeah, that got pulled up. Alright, here we go. I figured it out. There we go. Yeah, I knew it wasn't that tight. Alright, so everything's put back together. Let's turn the key and see what happened. Oh yeah, I forgot I gotta connect the battery. Let me get my keys and connect the battery. See if this thing fire up. Alright, she all back together. Got the belt on. Everything looks good. Drive it for a couple days. Let it run at least today. And see if it's leaking any water. But so far it's a job well done. This goes to show how a one-day job can turn into a, how long has it been? 5 days waiting on parts because I broke one. But if you like this video, like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and God bless.
This ain't over.